Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Money Making Mondays. So how I do, I normally give it about a couple minutes to give all the latecomers a chance to go ahead and get in and join us. So we'll get started probably at about 8:05, just so we can let everybody go ahead and get joined in and share in on the feed. All right, we got a few more people joining in, y'all. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and get started at about 8:05. I've had a lot of new followers since I've done this, so want to give everybody just a little bit of information on my background, who I am, and what Money Making Mondays is about. So my name is Snoop. I go by the name, the serial entrepreneur. I own Hookah Hideaway. I also own a restaurant with the rapper 2 Chainz called Escobar Restaurant and Tapas. And I also have an app called Girl Talk. We're actually getting ready to relaunch Girl Talk within the past couple of weeks. You can actually see my retractable banner that's in here. I'm actually doing this session right here from my office, guys. So this is where I come up with all of the ideas, and all of the creativity and everything takes place right here in the office. So anyway, living right here in Atlanta, and basically these Money Making Monday sessions, they're just a session that I do that, I take my time and just give a little bit of it to everybody, just teaching them and just sharing some of the things that I've learned in the entrepreneur and business industry over the past years. The subject that I want to talk about today is how you can save and invest when you don't make $100,000 a year. I think everybody knows how important it is to save and invest. However, it's just, when you're living everyday life, and sometimes living from paycheck to paycheck, it really seems as if it's impossible, to try to get ahead and save. So I think that's one of the biggest things that's really helped me be successful, is knowing what to do with my money. The only time that I ever worked for anybody was right after college. I worked for American Express. I was a financial advisor with them probably for about 8 to 9 months. And it really just taught me so many things about saving and investing, the stock industry and things of that nature, but even just like some elementary things that are things that maybe seem like common sense that a lot of people don't know about. So I'm going to actually just jump right into it. The topic is how to save and invest when you don't make $100,000. So the reason why I chose that number, $100,000, that number is really, really important to me personally for a couple different reasons. One, most people start feeling like they're successful when they're making $100,000 a year. So once they get to the point where they're making 6 figures, they start feeling as if they're actually successful. Another thing that I was always told when I was working for that company, American Express Financial Advisors, is that the hardest thing is to save your first $100,000. And I can totally agree with that. I know when I saved my first $100,000, I was just like jumping off the wall. You know what I mean? I thought I would never get there or even have a bank account that would have that much money in it and be able to do that. But it took so much discipline to get there. And that's really the case. Once you save your first 100, it's like it just kind of starts snowballing, because you get interest and things like that. So I really just want to jump into it and into exactly, how it is that I got there. So the question that everybody wants to know is, how do you get there if you don't even make $100,000 a year right now? And there's really 6 key things that I wrote down of things that I've done over the past few years that have really helped me. Number 1, you have to live within your means. So if you're making $50,000, So let's say you're making $50,000. If you're making $50,000 a year, after taxes, so after taxes, you're probably bringing about $3,500 home each month, okay? So if you're bringing home $3,500 each month, you don't want to go live somewhere that costs $2,000 a month, okay? So maybe instead of staying in downtown Atlanta, you sacrifice and you stay in Marietta, or you stay in Stockbridge, or one of these other places, because you only have to pay $1,100 a month versus having to pay $2,000 or $2,500 a month. So one of the main things is to make sure that you live within your means. We all want to dress good. We all want to live good. We all want to drive nice cars. However, we've got to wait until our finances actually tell us that we can afford those things. A lot of times, the first thing that somebody does, when they're making a nice amount of money, or if they're, get a bonus or something like that, they immediately go and buy a new car, or they immediately go and upgrade their living standards. And that's the wrong thing to do. If you get some extra money, the first thing that you want to do is save that money. You don't go and upgrade your living standards, okay? So the number one thing is to make sure that you live within your means, okay? So you know how much you're making, know exactly how much you bring at home, and live within your means. One of the ways to live within your means is to break down your income. Break down your income and make a budget, okay? So what that looks like, and so we'll just continue to use that number, $3,500 a month, okay? So if you're making $3,500 a month, you actually want to break that down and know exactly how much money you're bringing home on a monthly basis and where exactly your money is going out to, okay? The next thing that you want to do is make sure you pay yourself first. When I get paid, the first thing that I do is pay myself first. Each week, there's a certain amount of money that I save each week, and it comes out of my checking account automatically. Can't touch it. Once it's gone, okay? So it's like, I've saved this month, I've put this towards this business, put that towards that business, and whatever is left is what I have to spend on extracurricular things. And I've already saved whatever it is that I'm going to save for that week already, because it's automatically come out of my checking account. So pay yourself first is a phrase that I heard as a financial advisor all the time. And it's like, be selfish with your money, okay? So once you get your paycheck, or, you've made your money for the week, you've got your budget. You budget exactly how much you need to spend on fixed expenses. So fixed expenses are items that don't change and things that you have to have. So this would be like your car note, your rent, amount to spend on food, things of that nature, okay? So then you can actually determine how much money it is that you have left over to save. And once you do that, set up a source, or Edward Jones, they do free investment accounts. There's a lot of different investment companies that do free investment accounts that you can actually set up, and it'll help you to be able to save and invest your money automatically, where it's not like you have to think about it each week. It's just automatically coming out of your account. All right. And so keep in mind, too, guys, I had wrote down a little note as I was taking notes to put this together for you guys. Cash is king. So not only, you want to make sure you're saving your money, but hold on to your cash. A lot of times I'll have friends or different things of that nature. They'll get like a big check, and then they'll tell me, oh, I want to pay my car off. And I'll be thinking, that's crazy. I don't never want to pay anything that's like a debt, because for me personally, I know I'm going to continue to want new cars, so I don't even plan on paying my car off. I want to keep as much cash as possible. And so cash is king, because, when you get in trouble, or you need some extra money or some extra funds, that investment or that materialistic item is not going to be able to help you. The only thing that can help you is cash. So always keep that in mind. Cash is king. Be sure to keep it, and be sure to be stingy with it. Another thing is to make sure that you record your expenses. So another way that you can actually create a budget that's realistic is by recording your expenses. Know how much you're spending going out to eat. Know how much you're spending shopping. Know how much you're spending on different habits. We all have bad habits that end up costing us, funds and things of that nature. So know how much you're spending on these things. That way you can put together a budget that you can actually live by. Because if you're putting together a budget that's not realistic, then it's not going to help you at all. Another thing that I actually did that worked for me, I actually did this for 6 months, believe it or not, but I practiced leaving my debit card at home. So if I was going out, this was before I actually owned my venue. So I was going out and drinking and having tabs and eating good and stuff like that, just like everybody else, having to pay for it all the time. And so one of the things that I started doing was leaving my debit card at home. So I would budget a certain amount of money to go out and spend on entertainment and things of that nature. I would keep that in cash and leave my debit card at the house. It was only for emergency purposes only. But that way, once whatever I spent, it was gone. Another thing that you have to be good at in order to save and invest when you're on a budget is sacrificing. Guys, you have to sacrifice. So it's, maybe not getting every single pair of Jordans, maybe it's not getting the brand new iPhone. Okay. A lot of times we spend a lot of money trying to impress people, and stunt and things of that nature. And it's totally not worth it. I remember, this was probably about 3.5, 4 years ago. That was like a really huge year of sacrifice for me. I was going through a lot of things financially. I had just lost one of my businesses. I was starting a new business. Money was tight for me. And for that whole year, I didn't do any shopping at all, period, for that whole year. And anybody that knows me, they know that like I'm really into fashion. I'm really into looking good, dressing good, spending money on my clothes and how I look and things of that nature. And so it really sucked. It kind of affected my self-esteem and everything a little bit. However, it allowed me to be able to focus on my business. A lot of times when you grinding, how you look is not important. So it really just helped me to be able to focus on my business, be able to save my money. A lot of times when you're starting a business, you need extra funds anyway, because you never know what's going to happen and what may come up. Cash reserves. There you go, Attorney Simmons. But yeah, so sacrifice is really big. When you have a goal in mind, and you should always have a goal as to how much you actually want to save and how you're going to get there. But in order to do it, you guys, it definitely takes sacrifice, especially if, you're not making 6 figures a year or more. It's definitely doable, but you've got to have sacrifice. You've got to have that budget. You've got to live within your means. You have to know exactly how much money you're bringing home and what you're spending towards different things and allocate appropriately. And last but not least, start a side hustle. And doing a side hustle, and I'm not telling you to go out and start a business, because starting a business is not for everybody, but start a side hustle. And doing a side hustle, a lot of times what people will do when they actually do get a side hustle, a second job, or whatever the case may be, they'll spend that money up too. If you go out and get a side hustle, you have extra money coming in, you should be saving every single penny of that money. That's money that you didn't have, money that you didn't miss before. So actually make those funds work for you. So once again, guys, how to save and invest when you don't make $100,000 a year or more. Number 1, live within your means. 2, break down your income and know exactly how much it is that you're bringing in. 3, pay yourself first, back everything else out of it. So know exactly how much you can afford to save, whether this is on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, and set up some type of investment account where that money can come out of your account automatically. So it's just like you don't see it, period. That's the best way to do it. Trust me. Record your expenses. Try to keep your debit card at home, when you're going out or going shopping or whatever the case may be, because, hey, the point is to budget. So you budget, you spend exactly what it is that you can afford, and you don't go over it. And, start a side hustle if you need to, in order to get where it is, They say that everybody should have at least 6 months of savings saved up so that, you feel comfortable. So, guys, I hope that was helpful to you. Once again, who is Snoop, serial entrepreneur. You guys can follow me on Instagram. Of course, you're already doing it if you're checking into my IG Live. My website just dropped, whoissnoop.com. I'll be doing a website release party at Escobar within the next couple weeks, so please stay tuned for that. And you guys can pull up on me at Hookah Holloway or Escobar. I appreciate y'all support, man. Y'all join me each and every Monday for Money Making Mondays. Holla at me. Out.